Hey guys, back again. Now we're going to have a look at a video that's now the most prominent targeted individuals video. It's called What is a Targeted Individual / Gang Stalking. Now it's by a man that goes by the name of Dr. Todd Grande. His friends call him Ariana. So for this video I'm going to call him Ariana Grande. I'm sure he won't mind. Now, I could start this video and just say, have you not heard of the Stasi, you four-eyed shitstone? But let's go into it a little more in depth.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question asks if I can analyze the construct of gang stalking.
Who asked you to analyse this question, Todd? Was it the government? It was the government, wasn't it?
So sometimes with this construct, the people who believe they are subjected to it call themselves targeted individuals. Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating.
Did you just say speculating?
Suffering succotash!
Gang stalking or group stalking is quite a bit different. It involves the use of multiple individuals to stalk, harass, or threaten a victim. The group must have at least 3 people in it and must be organized with a clear purpose. So we're not talking about stalking by proxy. So we're not talking about a situation where Person A would hire a number of other people to threaten or spy on Person B. Also, online bullying does not count as part of this definition.
Online bullying is very much used to keep constant pressure on the target.
The phenomenon of gang stalking or group stalking is also reported much less than individual stalking.
The majority of gang stalking cases are initially reported, and that's when the target learns that the police, lawyers and medical fraternity are all working together to cover up this horrific program.
About 0.66% of adult women and 0.17% of adult men will have the subjective experience of being gang stalked at some point in their lives.
0.66 and 0.17 of both adult men and women respectively is an incredibly high number. This is not just a fad.
Now, in approaching this subject from a neutral stance, like scientists would if they were conducting a study,
you are not neutral. You have set guidelines that you have to adhere to.
The assumption would be that gang stalking could be real. Like there could be a lot of people out there who are actually experiencing this, or it could be, in many cases, part of a delusion.
The gang stalking community is a very niche section of the internet. It's not something you stumble onto and embrace. It's something you frantically research to stay alive.
In 2015, an exploratory study on gang stalking was published. In the study, the researchers compared gang stalking to individual stalking.
What study? Who conducted the study? How many test subjects? How were they chosen?
Almost all of the participants had no idea who the stalker was. Very few thought it was a former partner.
The gang stalking program is compartmentalized, so there's plausible deniability for those at the top running the program.
They were more likely to be scared, depressed, have post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, increased aggressiveness, and increased distrust.
And you are adding to the mental anguish of targeted individuals by posting a video such as this.
We see they are also more likely to report disruptions in their lives across many areas. Just a few examples, they tend to be more fearful about going out, their work performance was affected, they give up on social activities more, lose friends, they're more likely to carry a weapon, and probably most importantly, they tend to be more delusional.
The relationships of a victim are totally destroyed, family, friendships, professional. We're blacklisted from work and social events. We're bullied and harassed everywhere we go, scaring some into isolation. Carrying a weapon is absolute bullshit, as one of the objectives is to set up the target. As for the delusional tag, that's the opinion of a 2-bit hack.
When putting all these clues together, it seems pretty clear that most victims of gang stalking are experiencing delusions.
Put all the clues together from the study that you made up. You couldn't wait to get to delusional.
And this theory about delusions really explains a lot. It explains why they can't identify who's doing the stalking, why they're not getting written or digital communication, and why they experienced the stalking for such a long duration. Even though individual stalkers can stay around for a while, eventually they usually give up. But with the gang stalking, we see that goes on for many years.
Do you really think the perpetrators behind the worst crimes ever committed would just show their face? These programs run long term because of the funds and resources available and the fact that the police, the medical fraternity and the bar are all in their pocket.
So why hasn't gang stalking been studied too much? Well, in a way it really has been. Gang stalking is really a version of paranoid and persecutory delusions. What has changed? Why is this now something that's being discussed? Well, it's really about communication, specifically the ability to connect with an online informal community of people who believe the same thing. There's something very powerful about feeling a sense of belonging, even if that connection is made because of a negative experience.
No, we've had our lives completely destroyed and have to reach out to random strangers on the internet for support. Unable to turn to so-called health professionals such as yourself because you're so quick to condemn.
These communities often promote behavior like following law enforcement around, following politicians around, mental health professionals, and neighbors. Ironically, many of the people who say they're victims of gang stalking are actually engaging in stalking behavior.
Nowhere in our community are those type of actions promoted. Show me the evidence of this. This is complete bullshit.
Looking online, we find material designed to support targeted individuals, but much of that material is not from mental health professionals.
What a complete joke the term mental health professional is. You do nothing but serve the interests of Big Pharma.
They say that mental health professionals, law enforcement, politicians, judges, lawyers, everyone is in on the conspiracy, except, of course, for the targeted individuals.
That's the point. Total corruption means this program can run smoothly. Most targets could prove their case if there were trusted people in powerful positions. We've been let down by the people that we should trust the most.
They describe the typical targeted individual as having a very high IQ, a history of political activism.
A history of political activism. You just lowered your IQ.
And being influential. It's like they see themselves as threatening to the mainstream culture, government, and society in general.
We are a threat to the evil in this world and to those wanting to rob us of our humanity.
One of the main challenges with these types of delusions is it's almost like they were perfectly engineered to prevent someone from getting mental health treatment.
These programs were perfectly engineered to falsely label a target mentally ill.
It's ironic how the advice of mental health professionals in this situation could be something like, well, don't engage in those online discussions. Stay isolated from them.
Don't reach out to others and stay isolated. One of the core aims of the program. You've played your hand now, Doctor.
It's easy to understand how somebody with paranoia could look at that advice and say, that's exactly what the government wants me to do. They don't want me to team up with like-minded individuals because we're revolutionaries with great ideas and they're trying to stop us.
We're not revolutionaries. We just want to be left alone to live our lives, but that's not going to happen, is it? So we're going to come together and make as much noise as possible. Okay, my conclusion. At first I thought this guy was ill-prepared and hadn't done his research, but now I can see he's an absolute shill. He's been paid to do a hit piece on targeted individuals. He's adding to the woe of people that are already being tortured and killed, and he's an absolute disgrace. Well, people like you are being found out, Doctor, and your time's coming. I'm going to leave a link below, and I suggest that any TIs jump over there and educate people in his comment section. All right, guys, I love yous all. Until next time, bye.